Welcome to a brand new episode of Undisputed Anime Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Zane Reed, aka the Devilish Chainsaw Man, and I'm with my besto friend. He's like a little bit of a shark devil himself, Mr. Susu Day. How you doing?
My word, what an introduction! But you do know that no one knows who Chainsaw Man actually is. That's like the whole thing about Chainsaw Man Part 2, you know? It's like, no one knows who Chainsaw Man is. That's what everyone wants to know who Chainsaw Man is.
This is true. But we always love to give you the inside scoop here at an Undisputed Anime Podcast. How you doing, by the way? How's things?
Not too bad.
Yeah,
Don't know what's going on with my lighting today, because I feel like, yes, when we last recorded, my lighting was great, and this time it's like shadow. What's going on?
I think there was a bit of a change there. That looks a bit better. Oh, it got darker.
No, I don't know. It's probably because I've got this like massive bright light behind me. Doesn't know where to focus. Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing good.
Sensational.
I'm doing good. Like a devil, I live in the shadows.
I can see that. And for audio listeners, you should check out the YouTube version as well, just in case.
So you can see me grappling with a poor setup.
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for asking. I had a lovely breakfast.
I didn't. How are you doing, Zane?
But you didn't, so it's fine. I had a lovely bagel breakfast. Thanks for asking. And I'm doing well, thank you. I was kind of in the mind of, do I wear a shirt and tie? You know, get into character a little bit for the Chainsaw Man, review. But then I was
honestly, cinema goers must be so confused worldwide that all of a sudden there's all these office workers just showing up at cinemas all at once in massive groups.
Yeah, there was a very good power cosplay I saw last night.
Amazing. So where did you actually go to watch it?
IMAX as well. So yeah, we'll get into that. We'll go into more detail. But yeah, good turnout, good cosplays, and I've seen.
That was unusual.
He's back.
I apologize.
That's all right. It's fine. Magic of editing. Fuck it. Sushi Day's signal dropped, but it's fine. Editing magic, we'll fix it. Don't you worry.
The editing devil.
The editing devil's got this. But yeah, it was a good turnout. I was just going to say that I've seen a few reports that people are worried that they've been going, there's been empty cinemas and things of that nature. But this one, it was a good turnout. I wouldn't say it was jammed to the nines like Demon Slayer was, but this had a good amount of bodies in there.
Good to hear. I imagine that the empty theaters are the ones that Jared Leto was lurking around.
Have you seen that video of him going into one and he's like, I'm so glad.
Cringe. So cringe. Jared Leto truly is the IP destroying devil.
And we say this as Tron fans as well. I think that's worth pointing out. Both of us are head over heels into Tron. But
they really needed to. What is his name? I'm just trying to think what his name is. They needed. What they should have done is not cast Jared Leto and instead cast Cameron Monaghan, who obviously he was in the movie.
He is
only for like 7 seconds apparently. But he played Cal Kestis in like the Jedi Survivor games, and he's very good.
He is very good. Yeah, I know we're already off topic, but whilst we're here,
this is a Tron podcast now. Tron anime, where
it needs one. I saw a clip do the rounds where in Tron Legacy, there's those model programs that build the suit onto Sat.
Yes.
So there's a deleted scene where that happens again, but of course they're I say of course, in this version they're men in the black sort of Dillinger style armor, and they're like putting the kit onto a certain character. I won't say because spoilers. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to say Carl Kestis because that's that's who he is in my mind. I'm pretty sure he's one of those model programs, so he would have had 2 scenes, but one of them got cut.
He's such a talented lightsaber battler, like fighter. He would have been great if you were to just put him into a combat scene with like Tron light discs.
He is in a combat scene.
Well, there we go. What is Jared Leto doing there then? Just like
I won't say spoilers. Spoilers, yeah.
Anyway. Chainsaw Man. You went to the movies. You saw it. Pretty good turnout.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I saw Chainsaw Man. But before we jump into it, it's worth reminding, just in case you're new here, Undisputed Anime Podcast is available on a variety of platforms. Every 2 weeks, me and my best friend, Susie Day, get together and give you anime recommendations, reviews like this episode, and sometimes a few rants. If you love what we do, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment, let us know what you think of Chainsaw Man, as it'll be helping us out in a bad way. And if you are on one of those said podcast platforms, leave us a comment, star rating. Again, help us out in a big bad way. But we need to talk about this movie. We'll do non-spoilers and then spoilers. Everything will be timestamped as well in the description, just in case you want to bounce around the episode. Feel free to do so. Susude, where should I start?
The beginning.
The beginning. Okay. Let me... Top level thoughts coming out of it. I saw this last night, by the way. Caveat when I saw this.
Fresh in the mind.
I've had time to sleep on it, dwell on it. You won't get the sort of hype of, this is amazing. I've digested my thoughts a little bit. This is absolutely astonishing in terms of pacing, story arc, character development. It's very much a movie of 2 halves. That is 100%. I did this morning over breakfast kind of flicker through the manga volumes. One I can't show because it's a little spicy, but I did go through them. And I would say it feels very faithful to the manga. Not to say season 1 wasn't, but somehow this feels more in line with Fujimoto's art style, and certain panels just feel like they come alive. It is one of the best adaptations I've ever seen. So
they've had a lot of time. Like MAPPA's had a lot of time to work on this as well, because this got like announced like 2 or 3 years ago.
So the anime came out in 2022. So it has been a long time at the time of recording as well. In case this lives on for eons, we are sat in 2025. So yeah, it's been a handful of years since we've had anything Chainsaw Man related. Just processing some other thoughts. just
can we insert some like internet modem like noises into that silence?
I just realized as well, in the first season there's quite a lot of 3D CGI, especially for Chainsaw Man. There isn't any here. So if that put you off originally, I think as the movie, that you won't see that here. So that's a good thing.
I do think that was probably one of the biggest criticisms that people had about it. I was unbothered by it because I was like, gotta use the tools that you've got. It's not like entirely CGI and stuff. But it's interesting to hear that that's not what they went with the movie.
Yeah, and I guess another sort of point as well, kind of off the back of that, is if you haven't seen season 1, I feel like you could go into this and see it. You may miss a couple of beats, but it's still contained enough and, a very good character development story that you're not left out in the cold, if that makes sense. Again, you'll miss 1 or 2 things. I don't think it's, and we'll probably touch on that in spoilers, but overall, if you haven't seen or read season 1, you could easily walk in and still have a good time with it.
That's what I imagine that a lot of people will want to hear, because sometimes you'll have a friend who isn't caught up, and it's like will be a bit hesitant to go and see a movie with you because they're like, I don't want to miss out on something. But hearing someone say, it's probably fine for someone who's not seen it to jump in. like you can go back and like fill in the gaps afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. And in terms of the little party that I saw it with, two of us had read the manga, and the other two were complete anime watchers. So it was interesting to hear their takes, which again were all very positive. They came out of it like, wow, this was a lot more depth to it than I was anticipating and things. But yeah, they had a good time. The only annoying thing I found actually so far is if you go on opening weekend with some cinemas, oh no, I've broken it. You get like a poster, but this is one of these like ones where it breaks off into like little segments.
Like collectible cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing really on the back. It's just kind of like a splatter, but
Blood.
yeah, yeah, um, yeah. Overall, fantastic movie. It is very artsy movie. Like if you've seen Look Back, I know a lot of people comparing this to Demon Slayer because that's still fresh in a lot of people's minds, and that experience versus this, I would say it has that kind of creative depth that Look Back has, which is another Fujimoto movie. They're very different. In my mind, I think Demon Slayer is very different compared to this. I guess if you compared it to more like Mugen Train versus this, there's a dangerous thought.
I think it's. I guess in a lot of ways they're two different. Their stories written in completely different ways because, whereas like Demon Slayer has this assorted cast of characters, which I'm not saying that like Chainsaw Man doesn't. I think that what Chainsaw Man has that Demon Slayer doesn't have is a more of a self-insert character. I feel like Chainsaw Man is written very intentionally by Fujimoto, where that his main character is basically like, "Hey, this could be you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the most respectful way possible. I feel like Denji is one of those characters where I feel like he's been written so a certain type of people will look at him and go, "That could be me. Like I could be that person in a different circumstance."
Yeah, yeah. It's very reflective. There is a sense of that with this movie, and what I mean by that is that it has the first half of the movie is very like teen sort of romance drama where again, I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but it has that sort of romance dynamic about it. Like if you watched a show like Skins or that kind of teen drama-esque about it. Something else I was going to touch on as well is, of course, this movie introduces new characters. Unlike Demon Slayer,
characters as well. Like
a lot of new characters, unlike Demon Slayer, where it's had like seasons to build up on characters, and then the latest movie is the huge crescendo, isn't it? It's like the huge, all the characters get together for this thing.
This is the
where this is
moment.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, I think it's an incredible movie. The one thing I'm kind of scared of is I think some people might overlook the Denji Goonin part of it. They may see that, again, at a surface level, that he's kind of like this gooner who is obsessed with girls and thinks of nothing else. But there's this whole depth to it that has all these complex emotions that he's never had before. He's been, he's lived his life as a stray dog, and now suddenly he's having people interested in him. People interested in him and showing him different types of emotions, respect, and even people on the street giving him flowers, and he doesn't know what to do with it, so he just eats it. Like, it's all these different things. So yeah, I kind of, again, I guess I'm kind of worried that some people might misinterpret that.
Well, again, like that's what I was saying before about how he's very intentionally written as a self-insert character for a very particular type of consumer. Obviously, we know Fujimoto has a number of quirks, so to speak, in how he interacts with the world generally. and how he's written stories in the past, and the reason why he's written those stories as well, where he's come out in interviews and he said some pretty crazy stuff, like in interviews and stuff. And like, I feel like he's writing a story which is reflective of ways he has felt, which, and it's meant to appeal to people who feel the same sort of way, people who maybe feel like maybe aren't as well adjusted to societal norms, or people who feel like they don't fit in and stuff. And it's like, I you know, again, having a self-insert character is good because it really allows you to put yourself in the perspective that I think, and I genuinely, that's why Chainsaw Man has become so popular, because it's another one of those stories where it's like, I can easily put myself in the place of the main character and the things that are happening to him, while some of it very tragic. There's also like always like crazy stuff. Like if you've never had that sort of attention before, the idea that like all of a sudden all of these very cool or attractive people are suddenly so into you is like kind of like very appealing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's another thing I thought of actually. And before I do, could you give me the synopsis for this?
Yeah, of course. I would be happy. So let's go for it. I'm not going to do the voice this time. Everyone's after my chainsaw heart. No, everyone's after my chainsaw heart. But what about Denji's heart? In a brutal war between devils, hunters, secret enemies, a mysterious girl named Reze has stepped into Denji's world, and he faces his deadliest battle yet, fueled by love in a world where survival knows no rules.
So Reze is the new character that's introduced into this, and I'm sure a lot of people walk away with it as their new favorite character, and possibly maybe even like some cosplays in the future. I don't know if I've seen cosplays in the past. None really spring to mind.
I've seen a fair few, but like, you know, from like the manga readers and stuff like that. So
yeah. But yeah, you can't walk away from this movie and not like be like, oh, Reze. So yeah, it does a phenomenal job there. It does a phenomenal job introducing Angel. Trying to think, Beam the Shark Devil is kind of fun as well. So yeah, there's a good cast of characters. They do take off some characters off the board, I guess, to give them that
to give them more
airtime.
focus.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is really cool. I highly recommend it. If you haven't watched it and you want to, the season's only 12 episodes long, so you could probably smash that in the weekend and then get to see this in cinema. I think the IMAX experience is very, very good as well. I saw this subbed, not dubbed, so I should probably set that at the top. But the music, the score in this is absolutely fantastic.
I hear it also has a pretty fun like opening credits.
Yes,
scene.
it does.
It's like when I saw a clip of it, I didn't watch it all the way through because I was like, I don't want to like see spoilers or like leak stuff. But I was like, this is very much shot like it's the end credits of something. It had a fun little dance going on in it and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it hits the heights of the opening of the anime of the first season, but it's definitely a kooky, fun, like maybe a little subtext in there thing. So yeah, I again, is absolutely fantastic. And I forget who did the score. I did look it up beforehand, but it's absolutely phenomenal. I think there's even like a rock track, like a famous rock and roll track that's used during the final fight, which I saw a few people say, "Oh, this is amazing." That I want to say they're called Maximo, but I don't think that's right. But yeah, there's lots of really cool things in there.
The has an original soundtrack composed by Kensuke Ushio.
Yes, yeah. I think there's a track called Iris, which is
the first video I've seen is someone who has basically put out like a piano lesson on how to do it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's loads of piano tutorials for how to do it already. Like posted like 1 day, 2 days ago.
Wow. So yeah, it's really, really cool stuff. I think that's everything that I can say non-spoiler wise without getting into spoilers. Any burning questions?
You already answered questions I had concerning the animation, because I was going to ask about the how much 3D they use. Like I said, I had already expressed that I was fine with how much 3D was used in the anime. I know that wasn't the same for others, because I think that there is a mindset that, like, if you're using 3D animation, it's not it's not like traditional anime. It's like taking shortcuts. It's not as good quality. I wasn't as bothered by that. Obviously, we went and saw the last couple of episodes on a massive screen, MCM London, which was, absolute treat, not a bother at all. So you've already answered my questions about that. I'm guessing that the voice acting remains very strong. It's been a long time since I've heard anime of any kind where the voice acting, dubbed or subbed, has been awful.
Yeah, voice acting is still fantastic. I didn't pick this up, but my friend did. The voice actor for Tanjiro does the voice for Beam.
Does he?
And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So
range.
Yeah, and at the same time, he's doing Okarun in Dandadan as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's really raising his profile
out there, killing it.
Yeah. I've seen a few people still not hot on Makima's voice. I think it actually, I've definitely turned a corner on it. I don't mind the softness of it.
Do you think that people don't like it because they want it to be more mommy? They want it to be a little bit deeper and a little bit more
assertive.
Assertive, yeah.
Yeah. I can see why they would have that voice in their head when reading the manga and such. Because to me, it's very more Hinata type voice, very soft, very not demanding anything. Versus the, like you say, the assertiveness of, say, like a Lady Tsunade voice, with the brashness and demeanor.
I think though, like as someone who's has read all the manga of Chainsaw Man 1, I obviously fallen off Chainsaw Man 2. Are we here to talk spoilers at this point?
Shall we go into spoilers?
Yeah, just because I had something to say on Makima's voice, but it's it will be going into future stuff. That's the thing.
Okay.
We're in spoiler territory now, so this is your cue to get out if you're not wanting spoilers.
What we'll do, 1 second, we'll insert an ad right here. So this is a spoiler warning, ad warning. Undisputed Anime has a dream of becoming the #1 podcast in the world when it comes to anime, but we need your help. That's why this episode is brought to you by you. We need you to like, subscribe, leave a comment, things that you love about the podcast, which you hate about the podcast, things you'd love us to review, watch, review, talk about, all those wonderful things. We want your support. To do that, we want you to be part of the podcast. So be sure to leave a comment. We'll read them out on the show. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. All the relevant links will be in the description. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, again, feel free to leave a star rating and a comment on what you'd like to see from the podcast. It truly means the world to us that you have supported us this far. We're looking to pierce the heavens and make sure our drill is the one to do it. So be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down and below. Even an emoji, we'll read those too. Welcome back. Here's the spoilers.
So what I was going to say is, obviously, Makima's voice is very soft. It's a very soft portrayal in the anime, and I think that people maybe want it to be more assertive, like you had said. But I do think that obviously you go on to learn that Makima. You're up to date on the manga, aren't you?
I fell off part 2 like yourself. So yeah.
So we go on to learn that Makima is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there is something inherently more scary about someone who exerts control so effortlessly and under the facade of kindness. And I think that that's what they went for with casting her voice. They wanted someone who is a commanding presence, but doesn't need to actually exert any force to do so. So that's the spoiler bit. It's like, you know, it's just don't know if it was added into the movie. It's been a while since I've read that part of the story. Can't remember if it's been actually hinted at or shown that she is Hadou no 90 at this point.
So up to this point, there was that ritual thing that she did where they had the people cover their faces and then they just like exploded. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah.
But at the end of the movie, she has all of the mice like stop Reze from reaching the cafe where she was going to meet Denji, and Makima appears after the mice like disperse. So you get the sense that Makima has some sort of powers, but
might be a little bit more than just a regular demon hunter powers. Oh, so good. Voice acting is good. Then good. I'm pleased to hear that. I do love good voice acting.
Something that I often forget about Fujimoto is that he is a movie buff, and it's always seasoned into his projects. Look back, they reference things like Butterfly Effect. In Goodbye Eri, they talk about vampire movies, and in this, Makima goes on a bit of a movie binge. So she goes to the cinema and tries to engage with her emotions. Watches movies and goes through these like deep analysis and tries to see how they register with her and stuff. And again, I often forget like Fujimoto has this kind of like movie fan brain, a bit like Hideo Kojima as well, that they kind of always navigate their story with, which is really, really good.
And it's actually funny you say that, because I was actually just thinking as you were talking then, is like Fujimoto really, I think that a lot of people talk about like Fujimoto like he is the Hideo Kojima of manga.
Do you reckon?
In terms of the stories that he tells, like they're always like a little bit. There's always something a little bit maybe outside of what people would expect.
100%.
To leaning to absolute bonkers. So,
and that's very much the two halves of this movie. The first half, as I alluded to, is a lot of romance, a lot of drama, a lot of, again, Denji exploring these feelings of he devotes himself to Makima and he's in love with Makima, but Reze is showing him a type of interest in him and, you know, a fondness in him that he is starting to connect with.
He's not having to work for it, and like he has to work with it with Makima. He's like, because his relationship with Makima is like very much not explicitly, but is very much like a pet and their owner, where he does stuff and then he is waiting for praise, and then she gives him praise, so he's more likely to do the thing that she wants him to do in the future. She's like basically is like conditioning him, which is obviously a lot of the reason why I know that a lot of people really fell off hard on Makima, because they were like, I've seen so many like tweets or like Blue Sky posts or just social media just generally in the past year or so where people who only watch the anime, who have gotten really into it, they've done like Makima cosplays and stuff, and they've really liked the character, have then gone on to read the manga, and they've then come onto the socials and they're like, why did you let me cosplay as this person? Why did you let me do this? Because she is awful.
Yeah. It's a huge thing, because and that's kind of the Shakespearean tragedy of this whole movie, is that the two women that Denji does have these complex feelings for, you know, that on one hand he's madly in love with Makima, and on the other hand he finds himself falling for Reze. Both women are grooming him for their own end game. And that goes to the tagline, like, why does everyone want Chainsaw Man's heart and not Denji's? So yeah, it's this kind of weird Shakespearean tragedy.
Again, though, you've still got the people who are out there who are like, yeah, I want that to happen to me. You know what I mean, though? It's like exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, people are like, I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, Rule 43 or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's a fantastic movie. When we walked out, I asked my buddies, "Did you see the turn coming from Reze?" And all of them said no, except for one. One said it was there's the swimming pool scene where she teaches Denji how to swim. There's a few cutaways to a butterfly being trapped in a spider web.
Oh, lovely bit of symbolism there.
Yeah. So he was like, when I saw that, I knew what it was interpreting. Although you have this romantic, lovely scene where Reze is teaching Denji how to swim, they're being vulnerable with each other and all this other stuff. He was like, the way it kept cutting to it, I couldn't ignore what it was trying to signal in.
Love a bit of like subtle like storytelling like that. That's really cool.
Yeah,
really cool. Well shot, because I imagine that was probably a single frame in like the manga.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if it is. Yeah. So yeah, there's some fantastic artistic liberties like that. I have to talk about animation. I know we kind of touched on it before, but the animation in this is absolutely spectacular. Like it's astonishing. I'd probably even go to lengths to say, like, I don't think there's some sequences I've never seen like this before, because the type of like retroscoping they did. And to try and give you an idea, Denji is obviously on the Shark Devil in the middle of a typhoon, which is, like a massive twister storm with a giant baby kaiju in the middle of it because Fujimoto's going to Fujimoto. But there's all like this debris, and there's like a building that's like collapsing, so they're like zipping around inside of the building to get to the other side to then like ride the storm. And then sometimes there's a train, so they're going through a train to. It is just breathtaking. And fight the Bomb Devil at the same time, because the Bomb Devil's like movement is like, I know we've been kind of spoiled with the whole Bakugo fighting All For One recently, but her movement in this is just like phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Incredible. I think that at the heart of it all, a lot of us are just coming to Chainsaw Man for the action.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. And it does feel like it takes a while to get there, but it's not like with Demon Slayer where you're like, oh, I've got to sit through this flashback to get to some good action. It's all the emotional beats are at the beginning, and then the payoff is right at the end. So yeah, it is amazing. It's amazing.
Good to hear. How would you? So I hate doing comparisons like this, but like I think it's because it is a comparison that people are making at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
How would you compare both of the movies? How would you compare Infinity Castle to this, in your personal opinion? Do you think they can be compared, or do you think that they need to be treated as their own separate things?
In a weird way, I think they need to be treated as their own things. The same way that you would treat Spider-Man No Way Home differently from Infinity War, because Spider-Man No Way Home is self-contained. It has like these amazing characters, because you're like, oh, that's that Spider-Man and that Spider-Man in the same movie. But you wouldn't put it on the same level, like shoulder to shoulder with Infinity War, because they're two different dramatic story beats, like you mentioned before. So I would say, again, it's probably more in line with the Mugen Train, because they're both arcs that are in the longer story where they introduce characters and they, that it leads on to the next thing. I'd say this is better than Mugen Train.
Yeah?
100%.
Says a lot.
100% better than Mugen Train. I can say it because of spoilers. Just because of the artistic direction they take with the love story. That's the beat and drum of all of this. It's just Denji. Something else that crossed my mind, which I thought was really reflective, is that this is almost like, we're huge fans of Sherlock. You remember the Eileen Adler sort of stories?
Yeah.
Where like Sherlock finds himself in these like complex like dancing of, am I in love with her? Am I not in love with her? And then she's like, and I got away with it at the end. It's very much that. Like, it's very much Denji trying to fight his emotions, but also stop a terrible person.
Yeah, I think at the heart of it, good. Sometimes the best stories are the ones where you spend a long time building a character up. Like the whole movie, I imagine it's spent building Denji up to think that things could be better for him, and they'd be like, actually, no, you're the Chainsaw Devil, and things are going to remain pretty shit for you.
Yeah, and there's all these moments as well where, like, for example, Reze offers Denji a way out. There's certain moments where you realize, oh yeah, they're very much very similar. She's a devil, he's a devil, and she offers him, if we ran away together now, like, would you come with me? The whole fireworks scene, if you remember that.
Yeah,
and he's like, no, because I'm doing really well in my job and stuff, and that's when she figures that he's in love with someone else, because she's like, who is it that you actually like then? Do you not like me? And then after the huge fight, and they're both like on this beach, and she says, run away with me. And it's kind of like, oh, it's the flip reverse this time.
And he's like, no.
She does, but he shouts at her and he says, I'll wait for you at the cafe. And then, like, the next scene is he packs a bag with a load of money. He says goodbye to Power's cat, and she's at this train station. Again, there's all these parallels to, like, a mouse in the countryside and a mouse in a city. She could have stepped on the train, but she runs back. So it does the whole, like, she's running back for Denji. She's running back for Denji. And you could see Denji in the window with a bunch of flowers just sat there waiting for her. And then Makima.
You've been Makimas.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And sometimes I also love seeing that in a story. I love seeing a moment where a character makes a choice to follow their heart or to do the right thing, and they go forward with all this like earnestness to like do the right thing, and then just when they're about to reach the person, something will happen where like the main antagonist who's remained in hiding this whole time will come out and be like, no. Like, it's like a very, very like reverse Flash sort of thing. It's like, no.
No, Barry.
And then it'll be one of those things where later in the story you can have your "it was me, Barry" moment.
And even that is like, she's like dying in Makima's arm, and she goes to pull her pin, and Makima just takes her hand and then just kind of like puts it down, if you know what I mean, like moves her hand away from the pin gently, and it's kind of like, oh man, like, or she just had to pull it and revive herself, sort of thing. But yeah, it's kind of a weird.
I honestly love those dynamics. I love those dynamics that kind of like, when you're watching a movie or something like that, and you'll have a character who's been present the whole time and they've been helping out the protagonist and their friend, and then right towards the end the friend goes to help the protagonist or something, and you find out that the guy who's been helping them the whole time is actually the serial killer that they've been looking for. And they're like, now.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's not personal. I got plans for the Chainsaw Man. So have you getting in the way of that? Bet him think that you hate him and left.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's a really powerful moment, and I guess it's kind of like the redemption for that character as well, because like you see her do all this horrible destruction to all these civilians and people and stuff, and then it's kind of like, but I want my boy to be happy. But yeah, One other thing that I was going to mention that I kind of alluded to earlier about if you haven't seen the show, you may miss this, but it's actually, and is it Aki, the top knot guy?
So let me double check.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Aki Hayakawa.
Aki, a lot of his stuff it's not the most exciting beats of the story, but there is character development that happens for him, which is pretty cool. Again, if you haven't seen season 1 already, you'll probably miss some of those things. So, for example, he stands in a park with a packet of cigarettes and he's looking at it for a couple of seconds before he decides to bin it. And that's kind of his way of getting over his previous partner's death, because they were like a chain smoker, weren't they? And
yeah.
So again,
I'm still here.
You're still here.
Just gone no. I don't know why. What's going on? I guess I'm just not camera for a little bit. So just you can keep talking. This is better for podcast listeners. I'm really thinking about them and their needs.
Beautiful, beautiful. The audio listeners always need to be thought of.
Exactly. Just continue talking. I am here. You just can't see my facial expressions.
So I was saying a lot of his kind of progression, it may go over some people's heads. He also has like this whole development with the angel devil, and there's a really great sort of they're constantly talking about his mortality, because he had made a deal with the future devil, and it meant that he's only alive for the next 5 years. And then
he did. I completely forgot about the stuff he did with the future devil at the end, towards the end of the last season.
Yeah. And the angel devil can make weapons, but it makes weapons out of people's lifespans. So a lot of the time it will make weapons when people are close to death and it sort of thing. But with the typhoon and everything else, there's a point where Aki has to step in and try and save Angel, and the two of them don't really get along because Aki doesn't like Angel and stuff like that. So Angel's like, let me go, it's fine, let me die, I don't mind. I can be at rest, all that jazz. And he does slip out of Aki's hands, but then he reaches out and grabs Angel's hand and pulls him in. And Angel's like, why did you do that? Why did you? And Aki says, I can't sit back and let watch someone else die. And then he said, what did that cost me? And Angel said, 2 months of your life. And he just hugs Angel as they ride out the storm, which is kind of, it's kind of like it's this amazing kind of circle moment, but it's
full circle. Like that's nice. That's nice though. It's a nice little bit of like subtle storytelling in the background. We'll get to see more of that in the future, perhaps. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So loads of, even that was probably, you could probably sum that up in 5 minutes of on-screen time, but it still lands just as heavy and it still does some great things. So I thought it was still fantastically done.
I mean, at the moment on Rotten Tomatoes, it does have a 96%.
Okay.
So that's, pretty magnificent. It's also got, what's the other one? It's got 99% on the popcorn meter.
Right, okay.
So definitely a highly rated cinema experience, but just generally speaking, it's just highly rated anyway. Which is great for folk like us who love anime, because it makes you believe that, more studios are going to continue to put out like movies like this. I'd love to see more a variety in the West of being able to go and see movies on a more regular basis like this. Do you think, well, I guess the real question I should be asking you here, I think I already know the answer, is Is this movie disputed or undisputed?
This movie is undisputed, 100% undisputed. I highly recommend go see this if you can in cinemas. If you can afford to experience this in IMAX, do it, because honestly, it's a visual and again, the sound wise, it's just a spectacle. Just to kind of touch on where you were going, I guess this is a really interesting point with anime and their certain arcs as well, because historically, certain arcs have been drawn out to fill the 12 episode or 24 episode slot when the anime series has been airing, right? But with a lot of these shorter arcs, like this whole Reze arc, as I mentioned before, is over 2 volumes, and you could probably read the whole thing in 45 minutes. The fact that this is condensed into a feature-length movie and still has enough time to breathe and have all these character development moments, I think this is a really good point now that we could say we don't need to make a season 2. We don't need to draw it out as long as it needs to be. It could be self-contained enough in a feature length. We could still make a good amount of money because people will come in to watch it in the cinemas, and then we can move on to season 3. I think this is a really good thing for studios to do going forward with their anime series.
And you know what? I have a really good but obscure parallel for this, which really drives home what you're saying, is that I've always found that whenever they try and do a adaptation of a Persona game into anime, the anime just doesn't hit the way that the fans want it to hit. But they did do 4 Persona 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the movies did such an incredible job of telling the story of Persona 3 from start to finish. They did it as each season that you experience in the game, and it was great. It was such an absolute masterpiece to watch. So I do think that there's something to what you're saying there. Is like maybe a series isn't needed. Maybe give us 4 really good quality movies that just take each arc as you go.
Yeah, I think it depends on the arc as well, because, and at the same time, I don't want it to get to a ridiculous point like Attack on Titan, where we had 2.5 as a movie. Do you know what I mean?
Like that just feels like it's extending it in order for the sake of it. I think it's much easier to do in a story which is more self-contained, like within a certain setting. It wouldn't work for Demon Slayer. There's too much traveling going on. It wouldn't work for something like Naruto, because that's just too much of a journey. But for something like Chainsaw Man, where it's set, for all intents and purposes, it's set in the same place the whole time. And as a result, it means that the story itself, even though it probably felt like it because it was being released over weeks, the story itself takes place over a much shorter amount of time than it was released.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's much better suited for a big screen portrayal.
I think there may be 1 or 2 arcs that you could probably get away with doing as a movie. Like if we were thinking big 3 sort of thing, I'm just trying to think with Naruto, was there anything? Probably Naruto's return. I would have I feel like that could have been condensed down to a movie where they went and saved Gaara from the Akatsuki.
They could have absolutely turned the pain attack on the Hidden Leaf Village into a movie or 2 movies, because that fight with Naruto and Pain would have been a cinematic masterpiece. Same with the fight between Sasuke and Naruto at the very end of the story.
Yeah.
Those sorts of fights would have been incredible to see. And I do get what they were doing with movies for because during the time when they were releasing Naruto and Bleach movies, they weren't looking to make more story. They weren't looking to enhance the story that they already had. They were just hey, let's just do something fun with these characters in a different setting. People want more of Team 7, so let's give them more of Team 7 in an original story.
Absolutely. Yeah. Same with, like you said, with Bleach, people wanted more, but of course the manga was at a certain point. Filler can only do so much. So you have these And it's the same with anything else. Dragon Ball, of course, had
One Piece.
yeah. One Piece has got quite a few movies now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm. I think they all do. I think all of the big three really like they had a ton of movies. I really think that there's some of Jujutsu Kaisen that could have easily just been a movie. I think.
Well, Zero is, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Zero. There we go. Zero is the movie. Like I get the feeling. Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll get a Modulo movie because that's a very self-contained. Going to be a very self-contained story. It's apparently it's only meant to be like what 3 volumes.
Yeah.
So that'll be a nice self-contained story that you could easily maybe make some movie out of. Obviously, we're getting the abridged movie coming out in December. Is it December or November?
November. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming out where we're going to obviously get the end and begin, like the Shibuya arc combined with maybe the first little bits of like the Culling Game arc. So,
do you think, again, mindless spoilers for anime watchers, do you think we'll get the Gojo Sukuna fight movie exclusive?
From leaks that I have heard, the next season is 24 episodes. And it ends with Gojo being released from the prison realm. So I could easily see them making the Gojo versus Sukuna fight into a movie because it would be a perfect place to do it. It would be but again, would you make the Gojo versus Sukuna fight itself the movie, or would you just do the entire end portion? Because at that point, you wouldn't be able to really fit another 24 episode season on the other side of it unless you really drew out the fights. Because once Gojo goes down, it's really like everyone jumping in to like try and finish the job.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense that they would just like turn it into maybe they'll do Demon Slayer. Maybe they'll make it into a part 1 and part 2, where it's like it'll end. It'll like have several fights in one, and then maybe in the second part it will be Yuta and then Itadori's fight.
I'm with you. Yeah, I could visualize a part 2 movie. I also think that they'd probably again do something similar to Demon Slayer with the Mugen Train, where they had like the movie version, but also like the 6-episode version.
Oh yeah.
Where it's slightly drawn out. So I wouldn't put it past them to do both.
We can. I mean, people will go.
Yeah.
If you make it, people will come. Is what they say.
100%.
So,
100%.
So, I mean, I certainly would. Like, I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm in. I'm committed. My Kira is fully committed. Though I don't know that she could stomach seeing the ending of that movie.
The world cut and slash, as some say.
Yeah, don't know that she could. Don't know if she'd be able to see to stomach that happening on the big screen. Being the Gojo stan that she is, guess we'll see. Guess we will see. Because every now and then I make a joke about it, and she's like, "Stop it."
Oh, Susu.
She knows what's coming. She knows what's coming. She just doesn't want to accept it. It's like you and Zach, Steph. You know it happens, but you don't have to face it. And would you believe it? Final Fantasy VII Remake is remaking that for you. So he's currently not dead in that timeline.
Yes, I am aware of the events of Rebirth. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Would you prefer he died? This is an exclusive. I'm looking directly at the camera, even though I've got no camera right now. This is an undisputed exclusive here. Like, are we, Zane? Would you prefer that Zach be dead? Is that what you're saying? Do you wish that our sweet boy Zach Fair died?
No, but it's the ramifications, isn't it? It's kind of that, and it changes the events. Does it change the events of Advent Children? Not really, because it's all different, timey-wimey, wibbly wobbly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I I don't know. I'm very. Maybe this is a conversation for another time. But
You're like, no, okay, this parachute is a knapsack.
I have a lot of kind of thoughts and feelings about Rebirth and stuff, and yeah, I feel like I need to finish Rebirth. It's the end of that conversation, really, to kind of conclude on things. But yeah,
Fun.
mm-hmm.
Fun
Stuff. If you found this podcast fun, be sure to let us know by comment in.
I hope so.
Comment in the description down below. If you've seen Chainsaw Man, we want to know as well. Let us know your thoughts, your feelings. Did it live up to the hype? Are you now going to watch the series? Are you going to pick up the manga?
Are you a sophisticated viewer, or are you just a gooner?
I think that needs to be a segment.
Sophisticated, like man of culture or gooner.
This is true. We've all crossed the line at some point. Let us know in the comments down below. And again, just to remind you, this has been the Undisputed Anime Podcast, where every 2 weeks we get together to talk about the latest, greatest anime in preview reviews and topics. Again, if you love what we do, be sure to like and subscribe. But for now, we shall see you in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Catch you later. Bye.